In this topic, we are discussing the word formation process in Urdu Hindi. So in Urdu Hindi, we can form the word by different process or by different formation processes. So generally, we have the word formation process by inflection, by derivation, and by compounding. So inflection means we change in grammatical category without deriving the new words, and the derivation means we derive new words by adding some prefixes and suffixes, and the compounding means that just we are adding two compound words together to create the or to derive the new words. So these are the word formation process in Hindi Urdu that is most common. But the word formation process is one of the most central aspect of morphology. So in natural languages or in any languages, it refers to the process by which we can create new words, we can modify the words, or we can create or organize it is in systematic way. Means there are three things: creating new words, changing in grammatical category, and organize in a systematic way in a language. So in the case of Urdu Hindi, the word formation holds particular significance because both languages share a common grammatical base but diverge in terms of their lexical resources like morphological strategies and cultural influences. So in Urdu Hindi, the grammar is same. We say how you can make the word, the process of the word, or the modification of the word, and the formation of the word is same. But they just borrow some resources for the word or for some grammatical feature like some prefixes and suffixes they borrowed from the other languages. So Hindi is borrowed the process or the prefixes or the words from Sanskrit root or from other like Persian, Arabic and Turkish root. And the Urdu also borrowed the word from Sanskrit root or from Arabic and Persian mostly. But those grammatical features and those prefixes and those terminologies or the nuances the Urdu borrowed from Persian are used mostly in Urdu. But in normal English, in normal language, like when you say the Hindustani dialect, so it does not borrow, it does not differentiate between the nuances and all these things. We use the common language for the vernacular speech. But when we use that Urdu Hindi in literature or in any written script, so we in Hindi have the different source of languages and Urdu have different source of words. Urdu mostly borrowed word from Persian and Arabic and Hindi borrowed from Sanskrit origin. So historically Hindi has been shaped largely by Sanskrit and Prakrit and their extensive system of affixation and compoundings borrowed from Sanskrit and Prakrit. But Urdu borrowed their root word or their suffixation or their prefixation and their compounding means they borrowed the izafat compounding from the Persian origin. And they also borrowed some word from the Arabic and Persian. So they use wide range of prefixes, suffixes, and compounding strategies to align Sanskrit but naturalize in Urdu. So in Urdu, we are also using most of the prefix and lots of suffixes from the Sanskrit origin. And now they become very naturalized in Urdu, in use, very common in Urdu. So this dual heritage of Urdu Hindi, particularly rich case study for exploring the process of word formation, and it combines both Indic and and Perso-Arabic morphological tradition within a single linguistic space. So in this language, we have the borrowing from both languages. So some words and some techniques and some prefixes and some suffixes came directly from inherited language of Indian like Sanskrit or Prakritic or Abharamsha. So we use in both languages, Urdu, Hindi. So most of the term or the technique we use from Prakritic, Sanskrit and Abharamsha. But we also borrowed some technique from Persian and Arabic in both languages. But in terms of classification, word formation Urdu Hindi can broadly be divided. So the we have already discussed means the word formation can be divided into three types. So one is the inflectional, and morphology, that and the other is derivational morphology, and third is the compounding. So in inflectional morphology, we just change in grammatical category. So when you uh, create and when you form the words through the inflectional suffixes, so you just change in the grammatical category like gender, number, case, tense, aspect, and mood. Like when you make the from ladka to ladki, from ladka to ladke, so that is the only change in the grammatical categories. And the tense like hoga, hoga, gaya, so that kind of change in the tense. And the mood like karta and karunga. So this is the change in only aspect and mood. So this kind of inflection morphology does not drive the new words in the language. But on the other hand, the derivational morphology, which creates a new lexical item in the language by the process of prefixation and suffixation. So in some time you can add the negative prefix like la, ni, and an in Urdu, and sometimes you create the suffixes to give the meaning of intensity or excessiveness, like the word mand and many more other words like wala. And the third types of word formation process in Urdu Hindi is compounding. So compounding means when we add the two single morpheme together and it give the new meaning. So that is the compounding. So each of these processes are highly productive in the language, means in both languages, Urdu, Hindi. So we have the suffixes like ak, so we can create the word lekhak by the suffix ak. And we have the word like iyat, so we can create the word insaniyat. So these are the suffixes so are used in Urdu, Hindi. So similarly, the Hindi maintains many classical tat, purusha or devanda types of compound inherited from the Sanskrit, and Urdu frequently employ the Persian izafat construction such as ilmu adab, knowledge and literature. So that is the different means basic difference in compounding in both languages, Urdu and Hindi. So Urdu has compound from the Persian origin, and Hindi has the compound words from the Sanskrit origin. But commonly we do not use that kind of word in the normal language. But in the literature we use this kind of differentiate compounding in Hindi and Urdu in both languages. Before analyzing the actual process of word formation in Urdu Hindi, so it is necessary to establish the theoretical foundation. So in morphology or in linguistic terms, the internal structure of word and the rule by which they are formed. So there are certain rule, there are certain theoretical foundation through which we can create and we can form the words. So word formation in any language can be broadly classified in inflectional morphology and derivational morphology, and both are very common in any language or and very crucial in Hindi Urdu also. And additionally, it is also necessary to understand the concept of morph, allomorph and morpheme to discuss and to form and to analyze the word formation of any language. So if you do not have the knowledge of word, knowledge of morph, morpheme, allomorph, so you could not recognize or identify the word formation process in any language. So first word formation process is inflection, inflectional morphology. So in which you can add the suffixes in the free morpheme to create the different words. So that is the process does not drive the new words. Inflection process does not drive the new words. It just change in grammatical category. So like from number point of view, the ladka change into ladke. So it just change from the singular to plural. So ladka is the singular and ladke is the plural. So it gives the meaning of singular and give the meaning of plural. And we can change in gender also from the word like ustad to ustani. So from the masculine to feminine. We have the example like bachcha to bachchi. We have the example of ladka into ladki. So that is the example of inflection, just change in gender from masculine to feminine. And we have also the example change in case. So we have the word like ghar, ghar change into ghar mein. So this ghar is the just the nominative case or the accusative case, but this ghar mein is the locative case, which give the meaning of location. So Urdu use this kind of change. So in Urdu we have may, which is the postposition used to define or to describe the case. And we have also changed in the verbal categories for inflection. So we can, in verbal category, we have 3 or 4 types of change in the word. Like we can change in tense, we can change in aspect, we can change in mood. So here we can change in the tense. So the word like khana and khata hai. So khana is the infinitive verb, infinite verb, to eat. So it changed into the khata hai, which is the present tense. So this kind of change or this kind of uh, modification in the word comes under the inflection, where we are not driving the new words or the new meaning, but it just change in the grammatical category of that particular word. And we have also sometimes change in the adjective also. So adjective can function in terms of gender and number. So in each of these cases, the root remain the meaning same, and only the grammatical function changes. So that means the main meaning will not, means they do not drive any new meaning. They just change in some grammatical function, but the main meaning will be the same. For example, come to derivation. So in derivation, the meaning will be changed. So we derive the new word from like we have the word like dost. So the dost change into dosti. So now it drives the totally new meaning from friend to friendship. And we have the word like insan to insaniyat. So that is the derivation process where we derive the new words by adding some suffixes or prefixes. So unlike the inflectional paradigm, the derivation suffixes or the prefixes are creating new words in a language or derive the new words or the new meaning in the language. So sometimes the meaning from negation, sometimes the meaning from the intensify, and sometimes the meaning of the other types. Okay, so sometimes they also change in the parts of speech from noun to adjective, from adjective to noun, from verb to noun, from noun to verb. So that kind of change in the word class comes under the derivation. So come to the derivation of noun. So we can create the noun by different parts of speech. Like we can create the noun from verb, we can create the noun from adjective, and we can create the noun from other nouns also, like abstract noun from the other types of nouns. So this is called the derivation of nouns, which comes under the derivation process. So this category is very but in this lecture series we are using, or we are just giving the example of creating abstract noun from the other particular nouns. So there we can create the abstract noun by some adding prefixes, some adding suffixes, or some morphophonemic alteration. So abstract noun through the prefixation. So how we can create the abstract noun by just adding the prefixation. So we have the word like agaman. We have the word like virod. We have word like durpyog. So these are the prefixes. So we use in the Hindi like a, vi, and dur. So these prefixes just creating the noun from the other categories. So the prefixes are less productive than the suffixes in Hindi Urdu. So mostly the prefixes in Hindi are derived from Sanskrit origin, and now they mostly confined to formal and technical variety. So Urdu, however, makes such wider use of Perso-Arabic prefixes, which may remain common in both literary and colloquial speech. So the Urdu prefixes are borrowed from Persian origin or Arabic origin, and the Hindi prefixes are borrowed from the Sanskrit origin. So we have change in this kind of change, like from Gaman to Agaman, from Rodh to Virodh, from Upyog to Durpyog. And some abstract noun through prefixation. So we have the like Iman to Beiman, Ilaj or the ilm to la ilm, or we have ilaj to la ilaj, or we have bad qismat to bad qismat. So here the prefix be means beiman or bekar, la means la ilaj, la ilm, and bad means bad qismat. So these are the example of prefixation. Through this process we can create the abstract noun. And the other examples of prefixes in Urdu or Hindi is na and hum. So by the na prefix we can create the word na ummeed, hopeless. And by prefix hum we can create the word hamraz, means confident. So these examples show the key difference between the Hindi prefix are largely fossilized as technical, where the Urdu prefix remains alive and highly productive. So it is, you can understand the difference between the Urdu and Hindi. Not Urdu means these are the common in Urdu Hindi, like hum prefix, na prefix, and bad prefix and be prefix. But some are used particularly in Hindi, but they use in literature only, but not in common speech or colloquial speech. Now come to the suffixation process. So we can create or we can derive the abstract noun from other categories of the word, such as the verb, adjective, or other noun, to create the abstract noun. So by the word like by the verb like chalna, we can create chalan, which is the noun, and this chalna is the verb. By jamna we can create jamao. By dikhna we can create dikhawa. By likhna we can create likhai. By padhna we can create padhai. By sochna we can create soch. So these are the verb. So from those verbs we can create the noun by some suffixation process. So in dikhana we just add the dikhawa, the va prefix. In likhna we just add e, likhai. In padhna we just add e, which is padhai. But in this one, like the sochna, we just remove the na affix and it use at soch, which is the noun. In chalna we remove the na suffix and we become the chalan, which is the noun. And in jamna we add the va prefix, we become the jamao. And na is the infinitive marker, so we remove the na and we add av, so it becomes jamao. In dikhna become dikhawa, so we just add the va after removing the na suffix. So that is the process from of the suffixation. So in suffixation process we can create the new word by changing by just adding some suffixes. So by the verb we can create the noun by adding some suffixes. So we can also create the abstract noun, or we can form the abstract noun through the affixation, that is from adjective to abstract noun. So we have the adjective uncha, so we can add just e suffix in this uncha, so it become unchai. And choda become chodai. Insani become insaniyat. And dili become dileri, and acha become achai. So we mostly use e suffix to create the noun or abstract noun from the adjective. But sometimes we use iyat or re, dil dileri. So that is the process for creation or formation of abstract noun from the adjective by adding some suffixes. So most of the time we use e suffix. Now come to the suffixation process, another suffixation process. So from the another noun we can create the abstract noun by some suffixation. Like bhai become bhaichara, bhai become bhaichara, manav become manavta, पागल become पागलपन, दोस्त become दोस्ती, बच्चा become बचपन, उस्ताद become उस्तादी और उस्तानी in Urdu Hindi. So that is the example of suffixation process. So in this process we are adding some suffixes to create the noun or to create the abstract noun from another types of nouns. So they give the meaning of abstract qualities such as divinity or humanity. So we have the word like tawa suffix and iyat suffix. So they give the meaning of humanity and divinity in most of the word, like insan, insaniyat, and manav, manavta. Now come to another types of word formation process. Still we have discussed like prefixation, suffixation, inflection, derivation. In derivation we have prefixation and suffixation. Now come to the noun of agency. So in this types of word formation process, the noun become the doer of action. So we are adding some prefix or the some suffixes to just make the noun the doer of an action. So that is called the noun of agency. So they are usually derived from verb, through occasionally from adjectives or nouns, and represent one of the most productive domain of word formation in both Urdu and Hindi. So while Hindi draws the mainly Sanskrit based suffixes like ka, and iya, and Urdu has the suffixes like dar, gar, ban, wala. So bala is also very common in both languages. So through these suffixes, we can derive the noun which is the doer of action and which denote the doer of action or the agency noun. We can say the noun with an agent or the agency noun from the verb or from the adjective or from the other noun. So we have the word like lake. So from lake we can create lekhak. From part we can create pathak. So that is the lekhak means writer and the pathak means reader or lekhak means author also. So author means or the writer means is the doer of action who is doing something, who is perform something. So it create from the word lake. Okay. So lake simply a word so in which you add the ag to make it the doer of action who does an action. And we have the word like ar from kum to kumhar. So that become the meaning of agency, not become non become the doer of action. Or from dukhi to dukhiya. So which is also indicate the affected or the suffering person. So here it become the patient in terms of ER. We have another example from Urdu Hindi for the nouns of agency means the where the noun work as a agent. So dukan become dukandar. So it is the holder or it is the possessor or the responsible person. Zimme become zimmedar. Gar become madadgar, saudagar. So these are the example of nouns of agency. So we are creating these nouns by adding some suffixes like dar, gar, and uh, gar, saudagar, and madadgar. We have another example like ban. So here we can add the word like bagban and jahazban. So by this we can also create from the word jahaz to jahazban is the doer of action who is sailor, and from bag to bagban. So it become the gardener from the garden. So it is the like protector or guard. And we have another suffixes like wala. So through the wala, we can create the noun of agency, so which give the meaning of associated with the performing of action. So this wala, which also give the meaning of doer of action. So here the noun become like the word become calm to calm wala, dood to dood wala. So dood wala is the associated with performing an action. So the productivity of wala is so great that it is often complete with Perso-Arabic suffixes. For example, like madadgar coexists with madadwala. So in colloquial English, colloquial Urdu, we can normally use the madadwala, means in normal day speech. But in in Urdu literature, we use like madadgar by some Persianized kind of words. So that is the difference between this nouns of agency. So nouns of agency means when we add any suffix in the word like noun, verb, adjective to make it the noun which has some agent quality, means which is the doer of action, which is the performer of action, which is performing an action. So that is called the noun of agency. So it can create by the some suffixation process. Now we have the instrumental nouns. So instrumental nouns can also be created by some suffixation process. Like the instrumental noun means when the noun denotes by some tools or instrument by which an action is performed. So we can create some types of noun which used an instrument or the tools to performing some actions. So we have the word like belna. So not you can understand the meaning exactly what the velna, but you can understand the meaning like reti and retna, channi and channa. So like the word reti and retna. So we can create the word reti. So reti means to use to filling tool used for the filling surfaces to just rubber it. So that is the word reti. So we have like jhula to jhulna. So this kind of the instrument. So we can create by some suffixation process. So in derivational morphology, they originate from the verb root that indicate an action, and through suffixation or nominalization the noun form comes to slightly the object used to perform the same action. So there are some verb root in Urdu Hindi like od or like bel. So from od we can create odna or odni. From bel you can create belna, or the from dhak you can create dhakna, like dhakkan or dhakna. So that is the creation or that is the process of suffixation. So through the suffixation you can create the instrumental noun. Instrumental noun means an instrument that performs some action or by which you perform some action. So the noun come from this types of process are called instrumental nouns. So in Urdu Hindi, the infinitive forms of verbs, some verbs directly serve as the instrumental noun, while other suffixes such as the a, e, ni, and iyat are added to the verbal root to derive the instrumental noun. So most of the verb can directly used as the instrumental noun in some context, but in some verbs we are adding those suffixes like a, e, ni, and iyat to create the instrumental noun. So we have the word example like belna. So it is used as belna. So belna means to roll something, and the belna is also the roller, which is the instrument and which function and which performs some action. So that is the belna is the instrumental noun. Semantically, they embody agency through material means. So that is that which causes or facilitates an action. Means instrumental noun means a instrument or a tool through which we perform some actions. So we have examples like belna to from belna to belna, from orna to orna, from dhakna to dhakna, from jhola to jhula, and from chimti to chimti, from reti to reti, from katarni to katarni, from channi to channi. So this channi actually come from the verb channa, and this katarni is come from katarna verb. So in katarna we add some e suffix. This reti come from retna. Chimti come from the chimatna. Jhula, the instrumental noun, come from the jhulna. Dhakna come from dhak. Odna or odni come from the od. And the belna come from the bel. So these are the instrumental nouns. So instrumental noun emphasize the functional relationship between the action and its means. So the lexicalize the idea of the things which sometimes is done, like chimti. So chimti means that which holds something. So it comes from the chimatna verb, and we use the instrumental noun chimti. It comes from the chimatna verb. Now we come to the diminutive nouns. So the diminutive nouns means that express the meaning of smallness, affection, or the familiarity or the triviality. So the object or the person they denote. So the diminutive formation or the denominated formation means that we often involve the adding some suffixes or modify the base form to convey the meaning of little, dear, or lesser forms. So in any noun, you can just add some suffixes to make the meaning of that noun into the lesser form, into the smallness, to change into the affection, to change into the familiarity, or like dear also. So for example, in English we have the word booklet. So booklet is actually come from the word book. So in the book you add some suffix to create the diminutive nouns, and the word duckling come from the word duck. So you add some the suffix ling to make it diminutive noun. So in Hindi Urdu we have example of diminutives like bacha into bachchu or bachchi. So here we have the example like English cat into kitten. So we just change the meaning of cat into the small things. So it is called the diminutive noun. So diminutive serve both semantics and pragmatic purpose in language. So semantically they denote the smallness or the reduction in size, and pragmatically they express the affection or the endearment or informality. So it is very common, and this kind of diminutive noun we can create through the derivational morphology or the derivational process. So make the noun diminutive. So like we have the example from Urdu Hindi, like dibba change into dibia, khat change into khatiya, and kotri change into kothriya, and dukh into dukhda. So we make the meaning into smaller things. So it become diminutive noun in Urdu Hindi by some derivation suffixes.